Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce myself. My name is Olivia Permana and I am from English Literature Department. And in this video, I want to entertain you about Malin Kundang story. Long time ago, there was story a fishing village on Ermenis Beach in Padang, West Sumatra. There is a widow named Manderubaya who lives with her son Malin Kundang. Manderubaya really loves and pampers Malin Kundang. Malin grew up to be a diligent and obedient child. When Manderubaya was old, she was only able to work as a cake seller to provide for herself and his only child. One day, Malin fell seriously ill. Until his life was almost lost, but in the end, he was saved thanks to his mother's hard work. After recovering from his illness, he was loved even more. They are mother and son who love each other. When Malin was adult, he asked his mother for permission to go aboard to the city because at the time there was a large ship dock at Ermenis Beach. Day after day passed, the days seemed slow for Manderubaya. Every morning and evening, Manderubaya looks out at the sea. How far have you sailed, son? He asked herself as she continued to look at the sea. She always prayed that his son would always be safe and return quickly. Some time later, when a ship came dock, she always asked, "How is son? Have you seen my son, Malin? Is he okay? When is he coming home?" she asked. But every time she asked the crew and the captain, she never got an answer. Malin ever left any goods or message to his mother. For years, Manderubaya kept asking questions, but there was never an answer until his body grew old. And now, his path began to bend. One day, Manderubaya received news from the captain who had brought Malin. The captain gave Manderubaya happy news. "Monday, do you know your son is now married to a beautiful girl, the daughter of a very wealthy nobleman," she said at the time. "Malin, hurry home, son. Mother is old, Malin. When are you coming home?" she moaned pitifully every night. She was sure her son would come. Sure enough, not long after, on a sunny day, from a distance, a majestic and beautiful ship sailed towards the shore. The villagers began to gather. They thought the ship belonged to a sultan or a prince. They welcomed him happily. Manderubaya was very happy to hear this. She always prayed for his son to be safe, and son returned to visit him. The light of joy began to come back to her. When the ship began to dock, a pair of young people were seen standing on the bridge. Their clothes glittered in the sun. Their faces were brightly decorated with smiles because they were happy to be great with joy. Manderubaya also just led to approach the ship. His heart pounded hard when she saw the young man on the ship. She was very sure that the young man was his son, Malin Kundang. Before the village elders had time to welcome him, Malin's mother approached Malin first. She immediately hugged Malin tightly for fear of losing her child again. "Malin, my son, you are my son," she sighed, holding back tears of joy. "Why haven't you told me so long?" she asked. Malin was surprised to be hugged by the old woman who was dressed in rags. He could believe that she was his mother. Before he could think of speaking, his beautiful wife spat and sighed. "Is this ugly woman your mother? Why did you lie to me in the first place? Did not you say back then that your mother was a noble on the same level as me?" she said sarcastically. Hearing his wife's harsh words, Malin immediately pushed his mother to the ground. "Crazy woman! I'm not your son," he said harshly. Mandirubaya could believe his son's behavior. He fell to his knees saying, Malin, Malin, my son, I'm your mother's son. Why are you like this, kid? Malin Kundang did not care about his mother's words. He will not acknowledge his mother. He was ashamed of his wife. Seeing the woman prostrating to hug her legs, Malin kicked her, saying, Hey, crazy girl, my mother is not like you, poor and dirty. The old woman lay on the sand, crying and hurting. The people who saw it were stunned and then returned to their respective homes. Mandirubaya fainted and lay alone. When he realized Ayomeni's beach was deserted, she saw Malin's ship getting far away. She didn't think that Malin, who he used to love, would do such a thing. His heart ached and hurt. Then his hand was raised to the sky. He had prayed with a heavy heart. Yes, God, if it's not my son, I forgive him for what he did earlier. But if he really is my son named Malin Kundang, I ask for your justice, O God, she said sadly while crying. Sun, the weather in the middle of the sea, which was previously sunny, suddenly turned dark. It suddenly rained very heavily. Suddenly, a big storm came, heading Malin Kundang's ship. Then a thunderous bolt of lightning. At that moment, the ship started into pitch, then cried by the waves to beach. The next day, when the morning sun appeared on the earth's horizon, by the waves to the beach. The next day, on the beach, you can see picture of the ship that have turned to stone. That Malin Kundang ship looks like rock that resemble a human body. That is the body of Malin Kundang, an only child who was crushed by his mother to be strong for being disobedient. Between the rocks were swimming anchovies, mullet, and mackerel. That said, the fish came from the body fragments of his wife, who kept looking for Malin Kundang. Thank you for watching. I say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.